Hello and welcome back to Strange Hungers. So good to see all of you together once again. Thank you everyone for watching. Last we left off, the members of the Fulcrum Expedition had made their way from the capital city of Skyhome, Aethrai, to Barden's hometown, the quaint Gothic village of Nook, which is located right next to the world-renowned Extraplanar Library, Sir Silverhawk's tomb loft. After a delightful afternoon of relaxing in the tavern Untold Stories, the party encountered a strange sailor by the name of Foggy. Andre, since you are not yet on our overlay, and since you are probably departing from us this episode, will you just let people know where they can find you on the internet before we begin?
Yes. I'm Andre. You can find me at Andre Rivera Art on Twitter and sometimes Twitch when I'm up for a stream every 3 months or so. You can also find me on Tragedy Theologian on Sundays here on Total Party Kiss at 8:30 p.m. EST. You can find me on the Adamless on the Welcome In every other Wednesday at I think 7 p.m. EST. And then you can also find me doing a long shot series here on Total Party Kiss for the Unicorn Hunt that will be premiering in like a little under 2 weeks, and that'll also have Sloan in it. It's also related to my thesis shit, so you should watch it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Also commission me.
Also, go commission Andre. He's a very talented artist. Thank you, Andre. After the party encountered this strange thief and took him under their wing just for a little bit, Barden reunited with her father, Mountain Song, and then they made their way into the tomb loft. However, their delightful visit was cut short by an attack by a strange and monstrous plant that pulled its way out in the astronomy room of the tomb loft and attacked the party and the lord of the library. That is where we've just left off. We've just finished combat. Tazriel, our rogue, has just finished striking the last blow on this creature, and as he did so, this monstrous plant and the strange plant-like people that it had been commanding melted down into a viscous slurry on the elegant floor of this room. What would you all like to do now that you've defeated this monster?
Can I think last time in combat, I was gonna heal someone.
Probably Taz.
Probably Taz. So Foggy's just gonna run up to Taz and give a good old cure wounds.
I like you cut, G.
Yeah, where's the slap? Considering his height.
Probably. Well, is Taz like on the floor?
No, Taz is standing up. Like he got up, disengaged, and then killed the thing from a distance.
Okay, then I think probably we'll just like crawl on your head and like up your back and then on your head and just be like, "Hey, go!" Just.
I love him.
And then it's like, ah, shit, what the hell? And then it's like, oh, that feels better.
I love him.
In this world, when you cast Cure Wounds, you roll 2d8 instead of 1d8 for a base level. So if you'd like to roll like that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a nice DM.
Yeah, our DM loves
DM. Say that now.
You got 15 HP, buddy.
Aw.
Nice.
Buddy. Nice.
As you go to heal Tazriel, I will remind you all that Mountain Song still lies unconscious.
Oh
on the
shit.
floor.
I will go over to Mountain. Oh fuck, hold on. I gotta go over to Mountain. Yes, sorry. Matthias will go over and very quickly put a hand on Mountain and is going to give him some of his lay on hands. He's got so much lay on hands. 10 hit points. Straight down the gullet.
All right. The Furbolg's eyes open slowly, and the first thing you hear is he begins to hum softly, and then start singing. You can't really make out the words, just sort of something low, very similar to what you heard Barden sing back at that party. Seems like forever ago, but only a few days ago. And then he stops. His eyes seem to focus a little bit, and he slowly pushes himself into a position sitting up.
Are you alright?
I do not think so.
Alright.
I think that's when Barden turns, because like all of her focus was on the creature in front of them. I think her breath is still from like whacking that thing's tentacle off, ventacle, and like here's Matthias behind her clanking with the armor and just like, fuck Dad, and she is down there and just, are you okay? Just patting, just holding his face, his just looking all over him.
He wraps his arms around you slowly, says, "Yes, my little story, but I think I would like to go home," he says, and glances up towards Sir Silverhawk.
Siren, can I take him home?
Yes, of course. The Sir seems distracted. He has begun to pace around the edges of this room. Those little automatons that you guys had seen peel themselves out of the bookshelves with these strange little eye stalks that had turned their gaze towards the monstrous plant. He's sort of like leaning down to them and sort of checking. You can see that there are actually more of them that are folding themselves out of the bookshelves and sort of scurrying over to this crack in the floor. Strange glow starts coming from some of these eye stalks and these automatons, and you can see the metal and the marble almost like it's being pushed by a giant invisible hand as these creatures gather around it. Starts bending back into place where it had cracked.
I do want to poke around in whatever is left of this, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check.
I want to look over their shoulder.
Oh boy. Not very good, but I think I have a pretty good modifier, so let's see if we can fix this. Rolled a 10. My investigation is a +5, so that's a 15.
A 15. All right, that's decent. Now tell me, are you specifically examining this crack before it closes? Are you looking through the remains of the monster?
I think, yeah. I don't want to be unfair. I think you said that the crack was closed by the time this point had happened.
Well, I'll say this. Darren had described to you that the strange shimmering crack, the entrance to would appear to be some kind of graveyard or garden. That portal had disappeared. There was still a crack in the floor that led down to maybe piping and marble and other
I
stuff.
think. Okay, I think Oish kind of understands what that means and what it was. Might look at that after, but more interested in the composition of this creature, the magic that makes it tick or the biology that makes it tick. Either one.
All right, interesting.
Well, definitely with a 15. With that investigation, would you mind also giving me a nature check with advantage?
I don't think I'm very good at that.
Got advantage.
Matthias is looking over your shoulder.
Intelligence is nature. I always forget that.
Yeah. If you want to make this nature check, Matthias, you can also make it.
Sure. I'm assuming I don't have advantage on that.
Yeah, you go for it, Matthias, because I got a 6 and a natural 1, so that's an 11.
And no, you don't have advantage.
Well, I rolled a 3 plus a 1 is a 4. So
excellent. Okay.
rolling fire.
So, what you find, Oish, as you two are sort of digging through and looking through the decomposing slurry that makes up the remains of this plant,
Gross.
it does look like there are some kind of seed pods, like the open inside where Tazriel had been enclosed. Those things that had looked like eyes are actually small slits where there are more of these maws that are much smaller. You find inside these, sort of open, this maw as it's decomposing. Looks like there are almost like, I would describe them like very, very tiny, crude, people-shaped pods that are connected, like, to the inside of these maws, like those podlings were germinating inside. You also, just sort of through that investigation, and also your very, very high passive perception, there's a certain scent that is fading away from the air. It almost makes you dizzy for a second, some kind of excretion or hormonal thing, which is what affected Taz when he was inside the pod. But now that the creature is dead, that mist or aeration is dispersing.
Can I take one of those pods?
Yeah, you can sort of pull this out. You can add, I guess, to your inventory, a podling seed.
Nice.
It is pretty gross, pretty nasty, and it immediately loses whatever structure it had in your hand, so it's sort of like a floppy little body pod now.
Oh, cute.
But you got it.
Yeah, Awaish cuts one of these out, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in their pack. Just looks back at Matthias. And stands up and walks away.
Gross.
But neither of you have seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, BJ.
I think at this point, like, Cass took a breather, got some healing, and is like seeing OH just like take a look at it, and he's got in his head, I think it was acid damage he took when he was in the tentacle. I think
when you were
whatever the
acid damage when you were inside. Yes.
He's thinking, oh, maybe that is that harvestable? And like he'll turn like his head to look at Foggy to say thank you and like open his mouth.
Taz, you find as you open your mouth to speak, your throat sort of closes up a little bit, and it becomes harder and harder to swallow past this block in your throat. Foggy, as you make your way down off of this Oni, this orc tiefling, he's swallowing and sort of gripping at his throat. You begin to hear something in your mind. It starts out as a soft whisper and then pushes forward more, sort of germinating in an uncomfortable way. I don't know if you've ever been spoken to within your mind before, but you hear the words, "Thank you," echo out in your head.
Oh. You're welcome. You need some lemon water?
What was that?
I mean, lemon water.
Lemon water.
There's something. Are you a little parched?
As you look up towards Tazriel, you can see he has this, sort of cool green-blue skin, but starting at his left eye, it almost looks for a second like he's crying, but there's no liquid coming from his eye. there's sort of a dark shadow that is spreading out from under his eye, almost in a sort of a grasping pattern, like these fingers or tendrils of darkness, traveling from that eye sort of down his jaw and his neck. And you begin to hear not just that thank you, but more of a pressure, more of a feeling. BJ, what is Tazriel thinking right now?
Taz is like, what the hell is going on? Why can't I hear myself? Did I make a mind connection with Foggy? Did I do that on accident? Very much like confused and slightly panicked at this moment.
That panicked feeling. I think, Foggy, you're probably the only one, since Tazriel had walked a little bit further away. You are the only one within 30 feet of him right now. So you are the only one who begin to also sort of feel that panic and hear that panic. Some of the words are not coming through quite as clear. It's almost like you have bad perception. More, you're picking up emotions and feelings.
Well, hold on. We can sort this out later. We can see what's going on with it. But once we're out of this library, I can maybe check up on you or something. I know my way around a good med kit, so.
Azrael?
What's happening?
Noticing Tazriel starting to gesticulate wildly, I think, out of the corner of his eye, just like turns to watch and see this weird behavior, and Foggy kind of fretting, and will rise to walk over, just like looking sort of diagnostically, trying to see what's wrong, because something clearly is going on.
Also, in that moment when Taz comes over, Foggy has an idea, and then will speak to Taz in Thieves' Cant and say, "Can you understand me?" Okay.
And like, Thieves Cant back.
Yes.
Hell yeah, that's so neat. I love
Yeah.
Thieves' Cant. Thieves Can!
Yeah, for those who
Thieves'
are watching, Thieves' Cant in this world is a form of sign language, so many people will learn sign language if they are not speaking or hearing. So, yes.
What's wrong with your
As
eye?
you take those steps towards Tazriel Matthias, as soon as you press within 30 feet, you also begin to feel this pressure on your mind, a feeling of panic, of not understanding.
Ooh, step back immediately. Just like 1 foot into that like mind presence, and just like a full body flinch, and he steps back and kind of like a hand goes up a little bit, like what's going on, and we'll look between Foggy and Tazriel, and what is this? Actually, probably eyes land on Foggy, with a little bit of like a demanding expression, like what's going on.
I don't know. He can't talk no more.
Okay.
I think at this point,
Oh, go ahead.
I think at this point, Matthias hears Taz's voice clearly in his head, like we have previously. I'm gonna use one of my
Cool.
die.
Great.
You
Since
can expend that psionic die and roll for how long it will last.
Yeah. Is Barden still in the room with us? Okay. Yeah. Then I'll 2 people. Since it's my proficiency bonus, and I'll re-up it. And okay, that's 3 hours.
Cool.
Is something happening when you get too close to me?
Yes. It's a...
Yeah, I feel you.
I can feel your
Oh. My...
panic.
Taz like visibly like straightens up at that, like And I think he'll probably like back away from everybody, including Foggy, like as far back, like up against the. It's an orrery, right? Is that or a clock?
Yeah, sort of a massive statue surrounded by an orrery of gold.
It's just gonna like back up and then slide down, so he's sitting on the ground and just like take a minute to like just start breathing and the goal to like calm down if I'm projecting onto Matthias right now, and probably Foggy.
Let me see. Okay.
As he does that, can I step forward? Once he looks like he's gotten himself to some measure of control.
As soon as you get within 30 feet, you just hear his breathing, not just hearing it inside, hearing it out loud, but you can sort of hear that rhythm of Tazriel trying to think himself calmer.
Approach, and I want to examine.
Take a look at
Are
that
you
boy.
looking for a medicine check, or are you trying to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, I don't. This is gonna sound shitty, or like metagamey. I don't know. I don't think that Awaish necessarily ever approaches these kinds of things, except in very rare situations with like my first step is to solve this problem. They want to know what's going on.
I don't think that sounds metagamey at all. It's very in character. Will you give me then just a straight intelligence check, please?
Yeah. That is an 18 on the die for a 23.
A 23. Interesting. I think, first of all, I'll say that if VJ has any information that, you think that kind of intelligence check would communicate, you're welcome to let Sarah know that sort of secretly or privately. You pick up, just from being sort of in this realm, that you felt. Actually, have you had a psionic connection with Taz before? I don't remember.
I have, yes.
Yes, you have. So this feels different than that. This specifically, again, like this is in the realm of intelligence. This is a mind-based kind of, not even just magic, but energy. So this feels like Taz is leaking. It feels like there's some kind of crack or pressure that is not just manifesting on his own mind, but on any mind that gets close to him. Tazriel has fractured somehow.
I get like within like a foot, and I crouch down next to Taz, and I hold out a hand, and then I say, "Can I touch you?" I just give him a like literal once over. I don't know if that helps with anything, but as I am doing it, call out to everyone, let them know the information that I know, which isn't much, but it's something.
You can tell, sort of depending on how much you've been healed, Tazriel, it looks like he's not physically in danger of passing out, and it doesn't seem like, although there might be, some sort of lingering acid, clothing that's dripping a bit, this darkness, this sort of manifestation, also, if Tazriel lets you touch near there, it's a bit colder to the touch, but it doesn't seem like an actual physical scarring or anything.
If you like reach to touch, Taz will like sign to you. Is something different?
Yes. You have a mark on your face.
Does it feel like anything, Alex? Like, is there a texture to it as I like touch where Oash was
No
reaching?
texture. Doesn't feel any different, no.
Describe it.
You ask me to describe it? It's dark. There's a coldness to it. I don't think it's permanent. You'll be fine. Stand back up.
I'm gonna walk in there real quick. Take a steadying breath and then step forward into the cloud of Tazriel and
I will
Taz
I will say you're not feeling the panic part anymore.
Yeah.
Like I think Taz is really great at the breathing and like getting his shit together, at least
Nice.
holding it together
Love
as it should
meditation.
be. So yeah, you're just feeling an definable pressure, but not like
Got it. Cool. All right. And now that he's prepped for it, Matthias doesn't seem too off taken by that. I'm gonna step forward and do the same thing. Kind of like hold a hand out and wait for permission, and then as long as it's okay, gonna cast a lesser restoration, just based on like this was a plant, maybe he's poisoned. So I'm gonna give him a little lesser restoration and try to do that. So condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned for lesser.
Interesting. Will you make an Arcana check for me, Matthias?
Sure.
I will allow you to use your wisdom for this if you'd like.
My wisdom?
So that means you can make a wisdom. If it's better. Actually, yeah.
I mean, it is. It's not gonna make a difference. What kind of check is this?
Arcana.
Arcana, but I'm using my wisdom. So, 9.
A 9. All right. Because you're expending the slot to cast the spell, I'll tell you this. This is some kind of condition. It is not a condition that lesser restoration is capable of removing. It does not fall under the conditions that you've listed.
Cool.
But you also do actually cure Tazriel of a poison. You do. That is not the effect that is causing this, but some other kind of poison that you can feel leach out under your fingers that probably is related to something about the plant or whatever. Something gestating or planted that you've prevented from even taking effect.
Okay. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to use 5 points of Lay on Hands and see if it is a disease. Try and cure a disease. See if that works.
You do restore 5 hit points to Tazriel, but he is not diseased. There's just something wrong with his mind.
Okay, cool. Well, there was something, but not the thing that's affecting your eye.
thanks for trying. I'll figure this out. I'll fix it.
Hearing that in the psionic connection. As you say that, Tazriel, stepping back and zooming out from the two of you crouched next to the orc, back in time. Kiara, as the party was making their way towards the tomb loft, scrolling back a little bit, in the current moment, it is pushed into late afternoon, but now here, it is earlier in the day, and you, Matthias, Barden, Foggy, and Tazriel had been making your way to meet up with Barden's dad, Mountain Song. However, as you were stepping through the streets, the cobblestones of Nook, you hear sort of these hurried footsteps, heavy footsteps, and the sound of armor as it moves against layers of fabric, and you feel sort of a tug at your shoulder.
Kiara will, turn around pretty immediately.
You see Vice, the Scarlet Aster, Matthias's mentor.
Oh, may I help you?
Yes, I wanted to speak with you.
Okay. Yeah, anytime. I'm always available for chatting, catching up, making friends.
Walk with me.
Okay, let's do it.
Hmm.
And
She-
Kara will walk.
Yeah, she pulls you away from the group, sort of wave and continue on their path, and walks back towards the dock that you guys had docked the Lomi Sailor at. Do you want to give me an insight check?
Sure. Yes, because Kara's just like, this is normal. Well, that cannot possibly be good. It's a 3 on the die, plus 3, so 6.
Excellent. You kind of makes sense. Vice is not a very expressive person in the way that many people you knew growing up would wear their emotions on their face. It's almost not just sort of a commonality, but like a cultural thing that plenty of people just be pretty open about how they're feeling, even tied into maybe some kinds of faith. Vice is not like that. You can't really tell if she's upset or stressed or angry, or if she's just not expressive as she walks with you to the dock.
Is everything okay?
I wanted to talk with you.
About...
I have a question for you based on some of the information that I have been looking into and learning about different members of this expedition.
Okay, I had a lot of secrets before, but now I guess I'm pretty much an open book, so I'll see what I can do for you.
You are an open book. Yes.
Sure.
You are from the Empire.
Yes. Yes, I very, very much. I think it's obvious, right? Like,
Yes, it is very obvious.
I was like, Kara starts like waving their clothes around, like, like
You jingle
"Yay."
pleasantly.
Yeah.
I love that. It is obvious. You are flame-blooded.
Yes. Yes. Lots of fire magic, which hopefully will be very useful in the cold places we're going.
I do think that, yes, that will be very useful for the members of your expedition. I've been thinking, and I want to let you know. I try to keep my personal business out of Order business, but I do worry for my mentee and for this group, since it seems like you have already tugged them a bit into some of the dangers of the race.
Yes, they're all very intelligent and also lovely people who, I was very glad to see that they supported me and my choices.
There
Love
is
a
no
supporting
amount
group.
of intelligence or loveliness that makes you less flammable.
Oh, are you concerned I'm going to burn them? I would never do that.
Yes, I am concerned that you are going to burn them.
If it helps, I'm also very good at healing, so if I do accidentally burn them, I can definitely help immediately.
She sort of crosses her arms and leans back. You can see Her lip twitches a bit, and your eyes are drawn to this long scar down her face, and she says, "There are some marks that are left by burns that no amount of magical healing can fix."
Can I roll an intelligence check?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to see if Kiara's picking up on metaphors.
Mm.
Well, that's a natural fucking one.
Oh man, that doesn't make any sense to you because you've interacted with and even maybe trained with some of the foremost clerics in, the Raj, and therefore probably in the world, and their specialty is healing burns because they use fire to protect people. You've seen magical healing that will erase, the most horrific burn into beautifully smooth skin. People say that they, all the feeling is restored, looking even, better, having more glowing skin than they did before they were ever injured. So no, that doesn't make sense to you.
I haven't yet encountered burns that cannot be treated by magic, but I assure you, if I do, I would very much learn as fast as I can how to help. I would never put my friends in danger. I'm here to protect them.
That is a noble insight, Kiora. She looks away from you, out past the dock and the ship, towards the floodlands. She says, "Have you ever seen sand burn so hot it turns to glass under your foot?"
No. That sounds
Have
very
you ever
unpleasant.
seen hellfire rain down on you from above?
Like at a presentation at court, but not literally.
Yes.
Are those things we need to expect in the... I thought we were going to frozen places?
Those are not things that I hope this expedition needs to expect. It is what I fear when I look at you.
I would never. No.
You would never.
No! They're my friends. They're helping me. They protect me.
Do you promise?
I promise that I would never intentionally hurt my friends. Yes, okay. I mean, I feel like maybe if Owesh tried to murder Barden, I might get angry about it, but other than that...
Yes. Well, I suppose intention will do for now. I do appreciate you've reassured my mind a little bit.
May I ask a question, since we are being honest about our concerns? What made you think that I would do such a thing?
You can ask questions. It does not mean you earn the answers to them.
I mean, I would like to know if you've heard rumors about me that are completely undeserved or something. I don't think I give off those kind of vibes unless my resting murder face is very strong and I didn't notice.
No, you have a very lovely smile. It's not that. Have you ever heard of Kilon?
Have I?
History check.
All right, well, this dice roll in the double digits today. Or maybe I'll just use a different dice. You're fired. That's a 16 plus 3. Ooh, I didn't know I had a plus 3 in history, so 19.
Well, you've trained with some very impressive scholars, I would say. You have heard of Kilon, although I think based on your age, and also some of the things we've talked about, that Kiara probably wasn't interested in learning. The way that you know this information is less that you have, like, actually researched it or been interested in the history surrounding it. You probably heard it in passing as something of a key target, or a location for a celebrated battle. Maybe even something like a soldier or a captain was given an accolade or an award for something that happened at the Battle of Kilan. What you know of it is that it was a city on the edge of Bajau. The Bajau Desert is a country that has been at war with the Raj at many points in the past. Not right now. They're sort of more in a Cold War, sort of camped out. The Empire hasn't pushed that border as much, but it was on the border before it was overtaken by the Empire. Kilan is no longer a city. You probably have heard your father mention it as like I'm going there for a pleasure outing. Kilan is now more of not a skating rink, but like a glass skating rink.
Okay.
In a valley.
So to Vice, Jara will say, yes, but I have never visited. So I haven't seen it myself. Only things I've heard from folks who have been there.
It does not look like it used to, so I do not think a visit would tell you much. But Kilan was the place I was born. No longer exists. The house I grew up in. It is gone.
Was it destroyed in the battle?
Yes, it was.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible.
The expression on her face when you apologize is bewildering. She looks so confused for a moment, and then so angry. So incredibly angry, and then the face fades away back into just like she doesn't, like you've just handed her something and she doesn't know what to do with it. You are like no other flame blood I have ever met.
I'm starting to understand that. I mean, but I suppose that makes sense. I ran away, the rest stayed, so yeah, I think I must be different.
I suppose so. Well, you be careful, Kiara. Thank you for talking to me.
Oh, of course, anytime. And if you want to chat, I don't know if it's painful for you to speak of home, but if you do wish to speak of home, I'm always happy to listen.
I do not think I will take you up on that offer, but I do appreciate the sentiment of where that offer comes from. So,
of course. Before you go off, is there anything about Matthias I should know? Like, is he particularly susceptible to get burned? You did mention him first in your concerns about my fire.
Oh, no, I do not think the Iron Valerian is particularly susceptible to being burned. He is just the person I give a shit most about out of this group, so.
That's fair. Yeah. My issue with him is that I feel like he would probably be on death's door and not mention it, which is quite frustrating as the person who has to heal him. Like, I would just... Are there any secrets to make him actually speak up when he needs help?
If you want to ask the Valerian about his secrets, you should do that face to face. But I would not worry too much about Death's Door. That man, he is a survivor. I trained him well.
I am very glad to have his protection on this road, especially with, everything you heard about what happened back in the city.
You are lucky to have it. And with that, she says turn away from the water and face away from you. You do get another sort of naked glimpse of a frustration or an anger or a furrowed brow as she walks back away down the streets of Nook.
I think after that conversation, Kiara will take the wandering road back to the party. She's obviously been nowhere like this place, so she's all about that scenic route.
Maybe you can get some fish and chips or something. Very salty.
Fish
Here?
chips.
Yeah.
Little fish and chips.
Yeah.
My favorite.
My favorite.
Flying fish and chips. Yeah. All right. So you sort of wander in the afternoon. I think we've had that they had that conversation with Mountain. So you just kind of miss them, and they make their way into the tomb loft. You don't really see them, so you have to take some time to wander around the town. But I think eventually, if you pop back into the tavern or something like that, they will sort of direct you and say that the party had made their way into the tomb loft. Then you can find your way to the entrance to that tower. Just sort of skimming through, I think you go through a similarly interesting process to find your way into the tomb loft. A set of silver doors that push open, an illusory duplicate of Siren that lets you know if you want to make your way to a specific location without an appointment, you're going to have to offer something, some kind of story, some kind of gift to guide your way.
Okay. What Kiara's gonna do instead is pull out her little statue thing and reach out to Barden and say, are you coming out soon? Or do I need to go through this whole thing about figuring out a story? I'm not a great storyteller.
Where are we in the process of what's just happened? Is everything finished? Are we...
Actually, interestingly enough, I have to check the rules of sending for a moment.
Why do I
If
feel
it's
like
to another plane, you have to roll to see if it goes through. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, yes.
I feel
will
like-
you give me... Oh, it's just I will roll for it. Let me see.
I feel like Barden is the first call in the phone tree for everyone. Like, kind of just like by default, Barden's the first person
emergency
everyone calls.
contact.
Yeah, everybody's emergency contact.
It's like most likely to be sober.
Yeah.
Generally gets on with everyone.
Yeah.
Gives the best hugs.
I mean, not that
The
Kiara
one
isn't
of the
like the
strongest.
glue of our group, but like I feel like Kiara would also get like hella drunk, but Barden would stay sober for everyone. Just like, do you need some water? All right, I'll get you a drink.
You're in the perfect overlap of the Venn diagram between responsible and likable.
What a
Yeah, because
compliment
the
for a
wish
D&D
wouldn't get drunk,
character.
but they wouldn't help.
No. Your sending
would
message
get
does
home,
go
but not
through.
gently.
Yay, it goes through.
It does go
Yay.
through. I think that it actually goes through like right at the end of the fight. So Barden sort of like, the stuff is happening with Taz, and then because you guys didn't actually take a crazy amount of time to like, you talked to Mountain for a little bit, and then you made your way. Vice Garrett had a longer conversation, wandered around, then you made your way, and the battle was pretty quick. So I think it actually, Barden, you will pick this up sort of like you're holding your dad, you're helping him up to exit the tomb loft, and then you hear Kiara's sending message. You have 25 words.
Sorry, what did she say? Sorry, my brain was listening to the rest of that.
I think it was something along the lines of,
Coming
"Are
out.
you coming out soon, or do I need to go through this whole storytelling?"
Kind of looks around at everyone else. It's like, I'm coming out soon. Imagine the rest are going to the pub. Don't bother with story. Be there soon. Kisses.
Yes.
So Kiara will beep up until Barden and the gang come out.
Okay.
And Baden like obviously says that out loud. So it's just like, I guess you're all going. I mean, not to say, but I guess you can call her. I got to take my dad home.
We'll see her in a moment, so we'll all see her. Let's walk out of here. I can help carry Mountain if he needs help. And if Barden needs help, because I know Barden is like got one side.
He, if you do that sort of same like offer to help, he actually just kind of pulls away from you and leans more towards Barden and his staff.
Cool.
Okay.
Nope, I was just gonna say I'm walking out once again.
As we
Baden definitely like nods at you, like, thank you anyway.
as we step outside of the realms of the Tome Loft, Oish will step up next to Barden, just put a hand very carefully underneath her elbow and say, let us know if you need anything.
Thank you. I'll message. She looks very touched, surprised, because it's a wish. But yeah, and they'll split off at the pub, or split off at the Tome Loft if that's easier. I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll let you know.
Of course.
Kiara.
I'll just say, one moment before you all like even sort of are exiting and leaving this room, as the siren is cleaning some stuff up. Can I just get everyone's passive perception for me?
My passive perception is 17.
17. Nice.
13.
Okay.
15.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy perception.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, 12.
12.
So sorry, I'm messaging Alex. I'm not making things easy.
I'm assuming you don't need mine, but if you do, it's 13.
It actually is useful for me to have.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So yes, you begin to sort of like make your way out of the tomb loft. Matthias, you were saying something?
Nothing. You can keep going if you like.
Okay. I will just say that as you begin to exit that, as you say, you want to head out, Sir Silverhawk turns away from repairing his runic circle, and he says out to all of you, I am going to be busy for a while dealing with the remains of this infestation, unfortunately. I will try and make sure that nothing else escapes the garden. But
I have a question. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
You said there was a portal that was below the floor?
Yeah.
Did we see that?
So, no one, I don't think that with the heat of the battle going on, anyone would have, I don't think with the heat of the battle going on, anyone would have really seen it. Matthias and Tazriel were the closest. When the plant first came out, it was covering the crack. Then it was pushed away, which revealed the crack. So Matthias might have gotten sort of a glimpse of like kind of something shimmering and weird going on, but wouldn't have gotten like an aerial overhead view down into the garden that Darren got from specifically having time to make a check to look.
Yeah. But would he be able to tell that it was like a portal or something like that? Or did it just look like a magic rug?
Give me you mean the runic circle, or you mean like the crack in the hole?
The crack.
Give me I'll let this be either Arcana or Perception. If it's Perception, do it with disadvantage because it's about what you saw during the fight.
Okay. I'll just do Arcana because I think it'd just be him trying to make sense of what he's seeing.
Okay.
That's a 5.
A 5. All right. So you got a glimpse of something kind of shimmering, but you also, I think, he might have made a leap about sort of like the idea of this having just been lit up as a runic circle, and then like it cracked and it broke. So it might be just sort of tied to the fact that there was something magic going on in the floor and in the room. Cool. Not necessarily that, some fucky planar shit was going on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, I will have to deal with the remains of this infestation. I look forward to hearing updates on your progress, and I wish you a safe journey.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Good luck with your cleanup.
Thank you. And as you guys can step towards the tomb gate that he has summoned, you hear that ring of a bell as you pass from under it. The last thing you see is Sir Silverhawk just limping his way into another gate.
And Kiara here?
Kiara is waiting outside the doors as you guys exit.
Once again, we look fucked up.
I was gonna say, Kiara at first is just like, woo! And then immediately eyes grow like 3 times the size. And are you coming out first, Matthias?
Yeah.
She's running up to you. Oh my god, what happened? Are you okay? I thought that was just like a library or something. What happened?
It is never just a library. They have an infestation, I believe was the term.
Pull out the plant pod.
Oh.
Some plants.
Who's hurt? Who should I prioritize healing? Tell me what to do.
I think does anybody look real hurt? Anybody else? Tazriel is going through something right now. I don't know. Tazriel?
Say that as is specifically trying to stay like 35 feet behind everybody. Since I feel like he's gotten like kind of an understanding of like where Matthias stopped, that kind of thing.
You don't have to do that, I'm going to look at the rest of the party and say, we don't mind, do we?
Go wherever you like, Tazriel.
Mind what? Taz, are you okay? Can I help you?
That I'm gonna step closer so that everybody's engulfed in this. And again, it's not like panic or anything at this point. It's just like kind of an undefined pressure and I think I think Taz is very clearly like keeping his emotions in mind right now. But yeah, Kiara feels like as soon as Taz gets within 30 feet of her, feels this kind of like pressure in your mind. Not like when we've been like mind linked kind of thing, but something completely different. And I'll sign, or I'll tell.
Yeah.
I'll
the
sign
interesting
while I'm
thing-
speaking.
Yeah.
Right,
The
to
interesting
invite
thing
them.
is that even though you're like you sort of are trying to speak, this is almost like Taz is kind of under an effect of a zone of truth spell. It's just that anything he thinks, anyone who is in 30 feet of him immediately can hear and sense it. So you sort of like hear that desire of Taz like wanting to speak to you and wanting to say something to you. It's not coming through as much in words as you think it, but you can still like communicate to people just by the act of thinking that you want to speak to them. It's just that there's a lot of other images and emotions and random side thoughts, as you know, that come along with it.
Oh,
Oh, that's
I think you can't speak? Huh.
And like Taz a motion to his eye as well.
Has anyone tried restoring? And she'll just look around at the group.
Yes.
I used a little bit of cure wounds.
I did a lesser restoration.
And it did not work.
It did something. I don't know what, but it didn't. I'm sorry. And Matthias is gonna step outside of the 30 feet, and just kind of stay on the edge of it. I also did some healing, what I could, but it's not a disease. It's not a poison. It's something else.
I was planning on having a second look at it when we set up camp.
Taz, are you okay to leave? I can also take a look to see if I can recognize anything from what I've learned.
I will sign and like feel I'm okay. Besides being hurt, we can take a look, but it doesn't have to be now.
She is slapping in a cure wounds. Not slapping. Kiara doesn't slap in spells. Kiara's
Some
gonna
people slap.
Kiara's gonna be like, Kiara's just gonna hug Taz
Oh, that's so sweet.
and
Roll
cast
for your hug.
Hug cure wounds.
I love this bitch.
Everybody in 30 feet feels Taz just kind of like melt or whatever.
Aw.
Kind of feeling like
This bitch
before
just
you,
needs
like-
a hug.
It is
Wow.
it is sweet, but it's also in some ways a little bit weirdly intrusive because you actually like feel that warmth without feeling it. Like you experience the emotion of that melting, you know, in your mind. There's still, you know, as much as it is, you're prepared for it because you've been feeling that pressure. The way that the pressure shifts in your head, again, is not like, it's weird to be talked to without words. It's, you do experience the emotions in a way that is very close and intimate. Yeah.
Well, now you all know how Kiara's hugs feel, so you're welcome.
There's that.
After Taz gets some healing, I think he is actually going to go back to like the 35 feet away thing.
As for healing, I rolled real good because our DM is real great. I rolled 13 on the die plus 3.
Nice.
Dice.
Hell
7 and a
yeah.
6. And yeah, it's a good hug.
I think before Barden heads out with Mountain, she'll go through the psychic link to Taz and just be like, be safe, look after yourself, okay?
Speaking of Barden and Mountain, I think now that Taz has been healed, Kiara's eyes will turn to the stranger that Barden is holding up.
Oh,
I'd be like,
Kiara, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you hadn't been introduced. This is my dad. This is Mountain's son.
Oh, hi.
Dad, I told you about Kiara in my letter.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you. I'm sorry, I'm not in the best of states right now.
Would you like me to help with that? I'm not very talented, but I am good at one thing.
Oh, shush. Very talented. She's lying. She's making it up. She's really good.
Usually, I am more comfortable with the natural method, but I think in this case,
All right.
yes.
Then Kiara's gonna step up and be like, may I have your hand?
Yes, you may.
And she's gonna put her hands over his and say, while she's healing, she's like, did you know that your daughter is probably my favorite person ever? So clearly whatever you did, amazing. Keep it up. And yeah, she's the best. And yeah, let me also roll.
My child is also my favorite person.
That's 9 plus 3, so 12.
Alright, Mountain is doing a lot better now.
So Barden just looks like she's like a step away from crying over this. Just like,
Honey.
And I think after healing, Kiara will let go pretty quick. You know, she doesn't want to intrude. But before she steps away, she will like tiptoe a little bit and give Barden a kiss on the cheek just to seeing her face.
blush. Just, Dad, let's go. Just before he asks any questions.
Let us know if you need us in Barden's head.
Yeah, of course. And again, look after yourself, okay? I'm sorry I couldn't be more help.
You were great.
You
can take your father back home, Barden. As you escort him, the rest of the party, it is pushing later into the afternoon now. It's actually starting to grow a bit dark. You can feel a chill in the air, more so than the slightly chilly but sunny atmosphere. And then, as you walk your way down the marble stairs, past the cobblestones, towards the town once again, it begins to snow. Softly at first, and then a bit harder. But this isn't just a regular snow. This is an atmospheric element that both Bard and Matthias would be very familiar with. This is salt snow. It is snowing salt here. This is related not just to cold weather, but also to certain shifts in pressure. This region itself is so saturated with salt that sometimes it flakes down from the sky, covering buildings in strange crystalline growths, falling onto clothes, roots, animals as you pass by. And as well, a slight mist begins to pick up. Not necessarily in a super ominous way, but you can tell it's something about sort of the salt hitting the floodlands. It's almost sending up like little other sprays of salt into the air, and so just a slight fog as you push towards, I'd say, probably 5 or 6 p.m.
Would you say a fog for foggy?
A fog for foggy. A fog for foggy.
It's a little fog for foggy, right?
It's a little foggy.
God, we're insufferable.
Important question, because the second Kiara feels the snow, it's a full-on, like, fall in my mouth, I want to taste you. So how salty is the snow?
It's salt. It's literally, it is just salt
Kiara,
with
no.
like a little
Immediately spits it out. That is not what I've been told to expect with snow.
It's not that kind of snow. It's Well, now you know.
Wait, is this going to like tarnish like your armor and like is this going to ruin our clothes?
Would it ruin our clothes?
It doesn't really ruin your clothes. You just really want to brush it off, honestly, especially like with your armor. You know, there are treatments that you would know to expect. It's more like it does, similarly to how Mork way back when was like, you got to scrape the salt off of the hull of the boat. It's like an upkeep thing where in the, you know, in Bone Cold, when this happens more often, you really have to like shake out your clothes or scrape off your roof kind of thing.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I'll take a toothbrush to some of your jewelry and just...
I have the... I can also do the magic to clean. It's okay.
Right. Just me then.
But I always help with the magic on that.
Convenient.
The image of Matthias sitting down and scrubbing his gauntlets with a toothbrush.
100%. You know he would. He's got to get all the nooks and crannies.
Welcome to Nook.
I love him.
They sell armor brushes, but they're too big to get the like tiny details. You got to get in there with like a toothbrush and sometimes like a little pick and just. It's important.
For the minutia.
For the minutia of it all.
Where are you guys planning to stay the night in this town? Do you want to get a room at Untold Stories? Are you crashing in Barton's house? Are you looking for something else? What's the plan?
Foggy, do you have any suggestions?
I usually just sleep on the dock, so sleeping on the dock's free.
I think I'd like to sleep in a bed. So perhaps the tavern? We can go look if they have any good rooms.
Sure.
How many rooms this tavern got? They got enough for us?
Untold Stories has a bunch of rooms. It has some like little so the sort of like the main building of the tavern was that like, you know, kind of like tiered three-story like main element with, you know, the baubles and the shelves and all the carved art kind of thing. But there's almost like a sort of a side section as well, like, you know, main section, side section, where they have more of a traditional like one-story layout of a bunch of different rooms. It's very cute, actually. This is a little bit of like a themed hotel in some way. So you can see that each of the different rooms has like a little name of like a genre. There's like the romance room, and there's, I don't know if I'd really call it sci-fi. There's like the Albaran punk room, and
Jesus,
and that kind of thing. And there's like the, what are book genres? I don't know. There's like the historical fiction room, so you can pick that.
Where's the true crime room?
Where's the true crime room?
Yeah, there is a true crime room. All the bed sheets are red.
Oh God, I'll take the history room or whatever.
How dare you?
Listen, if Oash is going to try and slip between him and the door as he is entering, there's nothing
just like
I can
water
do.
Snake my way,
Like a cat, just like.
No.
Y'all can share a room if you want.
I'll take the gothic romance room. I don't know. Oash, you want to share a room with me?
You can have the history room. I'm not actually. I'm just joking.
Okay. How many rooms do you guys want?
Taz would want a room by himself, the furthest away from all people.
Understandable.
Oh God, yeah. Kaz, do you go like into the bar, or do you let them?
He thinks about it for a second. I think he'll peek his head in. How packed is it?
It gets busy in the evenings here. It's a little not like crazy crowded, but you know, this is where many of the Floodland farmers come to get a drink. So you would say there's probably about 16 or 17 people in here right now.
Scattered in such a way that he could stay 30 feet from everybody? Probably not.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
No, he's just going to sign and say to Matthias, yeah, farthest room by myself. And then probably go and say I'm gonna be in an alley or something, because people are gonna come into this fucking tavern. Wait.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Taz, if you want to sort of go for a walk, try and calm yourself down, you're welcome to do that. You can sort of stay away from people. You can kind of tell, like, just by people's faces as they might, like, wince that, you know, when they're kind of on the border, like, they start feeling something and then, like, kind of, you know, walk around.
Don't do it, Taz. He's trying to get you by yourself.
Too late.
Go for a walk.
He's trying to get you out of movement range.
You go for a walk.
I go
Very
for a walk.
good. All right, the rest of you secure your rooms.
Yeah, if we just get one for each person, how much is that?
This is not a super fancy town, but this is like the only tavern. And you guys are kind of the tourists, so that's where the money comes in.
Mhm.
So it's probably gonna cost, I would say, 2 silver a room.
2
Oh,
silver.
right.
I am always used to sharing and happy to do so. Do we know if Barden's gonna come back or spend
No
the night
idea.
at home? Does anybody else want to share a room? I don't really like being alone very much.
I'm fine with sharing if that
Oh,
pitches
okay.
a little bit of money.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. What do you think? Comedy room?
Sure.
We're gonna go for the comedy room.
Okay, we got 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 silver.
I think if anything to be a fly on the wall in Kiara and Foggy's room.
I think we will be.
Y'all just sit there and vocal stim back and forth. Foggy, 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 foggy.
Foggy.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
You can secure yourselves in your room.
Mhm.
Similarly, if you guys all just want to mark like 2 copper for
Oh,
dinner, you can all do
Okay.
that.
Cool. 2 copper for
Shit.
dinner.
Who's keeping my money?
I think Barton still
my
got it.
money?
There's
Barden.
me manly.
Me, my
I mean, I
money.
think Barden's still got your money, but you've got 5 gold on you. So.
But Taz also has my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Taz will have
You got some money.
I love, like, Kiara has to go up to the bar and be like, no, they're gonna pay for me.
I
Don't worry,
promise.
They'll be here. I promise.
You can charm her away,
Incredible.
it's fine.
I don't know how I managed to get into the I don't carry my own money in this campaign thing, but I love it. It's not my problem.
It's beautiful, and I love it.
I would actually love if we could take a little break here just for a moment. Maybe just like a 5-minute break really fast, if that works for everyone, and then come back. I still want to do some more foggy scenes, so we're not saying goodbye to Andre yet. Just
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Okay.
We'll see you in a minute.
See you in a second.
all right. See y'all in 5.
Bye.
Hello. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again as we return to the Tavern Untold Stories. Foggy and Kiara, you've grabbed your room. Matthias, Awaish, you've grabbed separate rooms, and you've also acquired one for Tazriel as he's out on his evening walk. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about? You can, of course, gather for dinner in the main room of the tavern if you'd like. Anything else?
I'll contact Tazriel to tell him he's got a room and which one it is. With my little thing. That's all. Is it?
I'm still within a mile of you guys, so like you can just.
Oh, can
in your
I
head.
just call? Okay. Oh, he'll call you then.
It goes both ways.
All right. So he won't use his one charge. He'll just let you know.
Cool.
I think Foggy is going to go up to Barden.
Barden is not quite back yet from dropping off mountain.
Okay. In that
So,
case,
although if you want to try
Sorry.
and sneak out and find him, you're welcome to do that.
I would like to. I'll have a scene with Barden. If that means waiting, that's fine.
No worries. I think in that case, then, Barden, you escort your father back home. He's quiet, leaning on you. Doesn't seem to be. He's not bleeding or anything. His skin tone is a little pallid, but he had been healed by both Matthias and Kiara. So, just breathing quietly as you walk.
I think as they go, Barden will hum the traveling song they both know. Just kind of low. Just to fill the silence. She knows her dad. She knows when he doesn't want to talk. He's thinking. And she'll wait.
He does pick that up with you, and let me know if you can hear me humming, because I'm not sure if my mic will pick it up. But he does begin to sort of hum and sing.
So cute. Yeah, Barden harmonizes. As soon as he picks up the main rhythm, her voice goes over it.
Make your way back home. That yellow door, as it starts to snow.
Barden just to get one little bit of flake of weird salt snow.
He
Still as disgusting as ever.
sort of glances over at you and sticks out a long tongue. When are you setting off again?
Tomorrow morning, as far as I know. I
Alright.
know you don't want another goodbye. I don't think you do.
No, I don't.
Do you want me to stay till you sleep? Or do you want me to just drop you off?
How about you come inside, have a cup of tea? Let me look at your face for a little while. And I'll pick up a book and do some reading. And you can just slip out when you feel ready.
Yeah. Okay, Dad.
All right. You do go inside. He puts on the kettle. You've tidied up some of his teacups so you can help him wash up a little bit. Make sure the house is in a decent state. Sit on the couch. Close the door. Get comfortable. And then, after a while, still occasionally humming that same rhythm, watching you as you bustle around, and he occasionally stands up and starts doing a little bit of organizing, cleaning up. He picks up a well-read novel from the bedside table, thumbs through it fondly, and sits down on the couch.
No watch, just tidying around. There's definitely a point where she knows that Mountain is deep in a book and the world around him disappears, and she knows that point because she's gotten away with enough things to know it. And she goes to the door and looks in, warm and comfort and lit warmly, and sighs and leaves very quietly, not a sound, and heads towards the Silver Sea just for a little bit.
As soon as you close the door, you hear something shift and another sort of choked noise, and then you can walk towards the forest. And Foggy, if you step out of the tavern when people are making arrangements, you might be in time to see Arden exit the door of their house if you're trying to head there to meet up with them. Meet up with her.
Shit, I just muted myself. We'll walk over, and just call out, Barden, is that your name?
Foggy? What's up?
Hi. I was wondering if you wanted to get a bite to eat.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
There's a good place, those, some savory pasties. Let's give those a go, huh?
Ooh,
Been a while.
that sounds very
Yeah.
good.
Got fish, got beef. Yeah, let's go.
Are you all right?
Enough.
All
Alright,
right.
enough. She
Okay.
smiles, a little bit watery, but yeah, let's go. I'll get you a pasty. Yeah?
All right. That sounds good. They walk over, and they will get a little pie looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some meat
That big.
and corn and peas, maybe, I don't know.
So you usually got potatoes in them. Like very filling.
Mhm.
I imagine these ones are a little bit spiced as well for the cold, as well as being fairly salty.
Mhm.
But yeah, pass this one down. There you go. I'll buy.
You have been very surprising, I think.
I mean, we've only just met.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I've met you before. Just what you remember.
I mean,
when I tried to take your sword, I wasn't trying to steal it. I just wanted to look at it. And
looking at it with your hands is different to looking at it with your eyes. Just saying.
Well, it was in the sheath, so I wasn't going to be able to see the whole thing now, was I?
Could just ask.
Right. Well, anyway, I was
He seemed to have cheered her up a little bit just with his fogginess.
I was trying to grab your sword, all right?
Yeah.
And then you grabbed me by the ruff of my neck in a very particular manner.
With the hand.
Oh, yeah. Well, usually people tend to miss when they try and reach back towards me. But I felt like you knew where I was.
I mean, I know the weight of my sword, and that was different. Maybe? I don't know, it just kind of grabbed. Something on my neck.
It just
I don't know. Do you often get grabbed?
No, not really. I'm usually pretty dexterous.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
But the only other person I really can remember who can do that is an old sailing buddy of mine.
Huh. Whereabouts?
Not really sure.
I mean,
Gosh,
I've been to the Perillian coast a few times, but only as to fetch books for the Tome Loft.
Kasha was very secretive about, who.
Oh, that was the guy in your story.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. The guy who got shot.
Oof. Can't imagine how that feels.
Yeah.
Wait, shot with what? Arrow?
I think it was. I don't remember if it was a blunderbuss or
Oof.
something else.
I mean, I've heard those, but oof, can't imagine how that would feel.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising. But I don't. You just don't. It's you ever met him?
Do you want to make a history check for me?
Yeah, sure. History. Oh, that's a 9.
The name is maybe familiar to you.
I think I've heard it when I was in the odd tavern, but no. Was he nice at least? If I remind you of him, was he nice?
No. What? You don't remind me of him in your personality. You remind me of him in the way that you, grabbed me, and the way that you were, moving about. I don't know how to describe it. It's more like your movements.
Would you describe it as 20 strength?
Yeah.
Wait. Just thinks for a second. Maybe they went to Porint, like me. Maybe they were training to be a knight, because we all learn the same way, Could be that.
Kasha didn't seem like the knightly type. He's always very braggadocious and a bit of a loudmouth.
I met my fair share of loudmouth knights, I tell you. Twats. Some of them twats.
Yeah. But I don't know if he was a knight or not.
Not everyone that trains gets to be a knight. Did you still want to see the sword?
You got it.
Mm-hmm. And just lays it across her hand firmly on the hand. Just like, there you go, just have a look. Just lays it on her lap. I imagine they've sat down at this point.
We'll literally interlock their fingers in front of Barden to show them.
Yeah. Finishes and just sort of holds it up and goes, see, so this is called Titan's Bane, as far as I know. That's what I worked out. Anyway. So you see, they're not seals. These are werewolves. Yeah?
Oh.
See over there?
Yes.
And the runes I haven't quite worked out. They're strange. But yeah. Old.
Well, if they were wolves, you'd think their ears would be a little bit bigger.
I mean, maybe werewolves were different back then. It's an old sword.
That's a fair point.
Just
It's very pretty.
thank you. Gift from my
Sorry.
dad.
Sorry for trying to steal it.
I understand it. It's a nice sword.
Is your pop okay? We don't gotta talk about that if you don't want to.
He's just protective. Farthest I've been to around Albara, and that was on just twice, and that was on family trips. So I've never really been out of his sight, and I think it scares him. What about you? What's your family like?
Well, I didn't really have a family growing up. I was just kind of raised on the docks. I jumped around from ship to ship, and I'd have like I'd have a crew for like a little bit of time, but never like,
No one's stuck.
Yeah. I think the Picos are more my family than anything.
I think that's nice. I'm glad you have them at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could say that you were raised by the sea. Terrible. It's awful.
I feel like for the amount of times I've been thrown overboard and nearly drowned to death, being that the sea would be a pretty bitter parent.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's just, I don't know how much sailing. Have you sailed? Oh, you said you sailed to.
Oh no, I haven't sailed. I've just been to the coast.
Oh, you just walked there.
Yeah, to get books, like I said.
Well,
I've been on the odd skimmer, but I've never really,
You've never been out on the open sea?
done the rigging or. No, not yet. I'm kind of excited.
You know the word rigging, and you're a landlubber.
Well, I do read.
Oh, that's right. Your dad's a librarian, isn't he? Well,
I've heard plenty of stories. Lots of sea myths. Do love them.
Well, I usually work on the open seas. It's rare for me to be on land for so long. So when I go back on the ship, I figure I'll probably have a bad case of deer legs when I get back on.
Deer legs?
Yeah, you know when you get back on a ship after a long time on land and you feel like you're all wobbly.
I'm excited to see you do it.
But
I have to keep an eye out.
But yeah, I figured, I asked if you'd known my compatriot or not, just because I don't know, you reminded me of them.
Sorry, Mace. I've never met Akasha.
Alex, Kasha was a human?
No, a Genasi.
Genasi, that was it.
Yeah. Random question. Do you think Foggy's religious, Andre?
No.
No. There's
religious in the sense of like, I don't know, like being aware of the environment, I guess, but not in the sense of like big higher powers or anything like that.
I'd say that really just because there's a sea god that's very popular on the Parelian coast and among the island called Seer, one of the most common, one of the most common gods, god of the ocean, and is often sort of called like a father, you know. So interesting. All right, you two finish your conversation and your pasties, and
Pasties.
can split back up, split back off, as you like.
I think after this, Foggy's gonna go over to Taz.
You two are gonna go on a walk, huh?
Or you're gonna find me in an alley somewhere nearby.
I think on the walk back, Foggy is like going past the tavern, and we'll just like see out of the corner of their eye Taz like standing alone. And just call out, "What are you doing over there?"
Staying away from everybody.
Well, while we're alone, I feel like I gotta tell you something. Do you think we should find somewhere more private?
Maybe somewhere higher?
That's a good idea. And we'll just look up and do a little like, kind of like a lemur hop on top of like the trash can and then scramble up the wall.
Taz would like to acrobatics his way up there as well.
Taz, you can make an acrobatics check. However, since you're making an ability check while you are fractured, remember to roll your psionic die and subtract it.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. That's a 3.
A 3. For a second, Tazriel, you go to climb up the wall, and your hand reaches out, and instead of stone, it's wood. It's a dark, twisted bark that peels away under your fingers, and you stumble back and sort of slide down from where you were climbing, and then you close your eyes, and it's just a stone wall again.
Great. Can Foggy, can you see me from down here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm signing. I can't get up there.
Oh. If I throw you a rope, will that work?
Yes.
We'll throw a rope.
Yeah. You can just take your time to climb up, and Foggy can help. So.
Foggy got 14 strength. He got this.
I believe in Foggy. If you want to make a roll for it to see how sexy you do it, you can give me an
That's a
athletics check,
dangerous
Foggy.
game to play.
Very.
I'm
Foggy is twice as strong as Kiara. More than twice as strong as Kiara.
Same for Taz.
What is Kiara's strength?
6.
Christ.
Jesus.
The amount of negative strength that we have in this party.
Weak Empire kids.
That's why I have a 20 strength best friend.
So we'll pull up Taz, and then has been talking this whole time, but we'll switch over to Thieves' Camp. So I feel like I have to tell you something as a fellow thief. Someone in your group is not who they say they are.
I'm going to sign back. It's Oash, isn't it?
As a pirate, I can't tell you who.
Should. And like, there's a long pause when he's signing. I don't need everybody to be honest about who they are, as long as they don't jeopardize the mission. Should I be worried about traveling and fighting alongside them, whoever they are?
Yes.
The sort of hesitant signed, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Shan. Hmm.
As a pirate, is there anything I can give you to make to say more about the situation? And I will do the whole finger thing with the gold again. I respect if not, but
Foggy is like dead-eyeing this gold.
which is 5 gold right now, and then hands back in the pockets. 10, 15. Taz will go up to 30 gold.
I just gotta get one of those salt
In the
orbs out,
combo.
baby.
I didn't spend our money.
Oh wait, that's right. That's fucking right. Shit. Actually,
Yeah.
he'll take out that 150 gold piece. He'll take out the 5 salt orbs he has that I think are. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they 50 gold a piece, or 50 together?
50 together, I think it was.
Okay,
50
yes, he'll
together,
take out the
they were-
5 salt orbs.
Those are very expensive usually. Andre, if you feel like you want to ask Tazriel for a persuasion check, you're welcome to, but I would also say that this is entirely your decision. So if you think the role would help, you can ask for it, but you don't have to.
I do want to clarify.
Yeah.
If you want the information, I can give you something beyond who exactly it is.
Like that. Okay.
I'll take what you give me. I just need to know more. I give Foggy the 5 salt orbs. 50 gold. Let's get off my back.
I would be weary about names.
Do I?
Yeah.
Does Taz understand that? Because Vic is confused.
So, wary about names. I think that the way that it seems most likely to be interpreted, and correct me if I'm wrong, Andre, is that Foggy is suggesting that someone is lying about who they are. Someone, and not just that someone is using a name that is not their own name. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. that's kind of a that's a decent hint, I would say, to who it is. You're welcome to press Foggy harder if you'd like. If you feel like Tazriel would be frustrated with that, though.
Yeah, he's totally frustrated. Like, Foggy, are you within 30 feet of me? Like, are you staying
I
away?
pulled you up.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how big the roof is, but yeah, you can definitely
Not 30
feel like
feet
the
away.
you can definitely feel the frustration rolling off of Taz. You know this because you're a pirate. And you know this because you're a thief. Like me. And just a small smile at that.
Yeah, that's right.
It's only one of two people. And I know which one it probably isn't.
Just you're very like I could tell by the way that you were critiquing my routine with the Pico that you know your shit. So I would hate to hear about a good thief going sideways.
I appreciate the warning. And it feels like you've told me what I need to know, and holding up to your morals on the things you can't tell me, so a fair compromise among thieves. And listen, if we see each other out and about, maybe we can have some fun sometime.
That sounds great. We'll switch back to speaking. I'm usually sailing out and about, you know. So it's not impossible for me to run into you lot again. Especially if you're out on the open seas. I am I'm jumping from group to group, so Alex, out of character.
Yeah.
Is Foggy's primary connection like is that something that they can publicly share? Or is that more like
if you're talking about the alliance that we've mentioned, that one is more openly known. So I think it might be something you could share, especially because it might be a way for Tazriel to then get in contact with someone who can get in contact with Foggy. So, yeah.
Well, I tend to work a lot with the Glasslings in around the Paralian coast. So, if you're looking for a little bit of an easier route around the seas around there, maybe around you know, the different harbors and things, maybe I can hook you up with a good crew and we won't have to worry about, you know, fighting over resources, running into enemy vessels or anything like that.
Do you want a history check about the Glasslings?
Yes. Fuck
Give it to me.
with this.
Unfortunately, you have to subtract your psionics die. So remember to subtract.
Okay. History's fine. 20 not natural after I subtracted the die.
Nice.
Damn. Nice. So in this case, I think it's sort of like an active flash of memory in a way that the way that your mind is working right now actually makes it almost more effective because sort of like the act of remembering and thinking gets like heightened and triggered by the fact that you're expressing, like you're projecting your feelings. I think that Tazriel, especially when you had spent time probably on the Albaran coast, you might have vaguely heard of like some stories of the Glasslings, and also you might even have talked to one or two contacts among the Glasslings when you were on certain missions. If any of your missions working for the Empire ever took you closer to the coast. The Glasslings are sort of a loose collective, supposedly of pirates and sailors, mostly among the Skull Atholls, and the time that you might have connected to or talked to a member, if you have, you would have gone to Talaga. That is a larger island, deeper out in the ocean, and that is where that's where you might know that you could reach out to and connect to a member of the Glasslings. You also know that sometimes they ask certain merchant groups or certain sailors to pay a tithe. So, you know, they have some economic sway in the Perelian Ocean. Yeah.
And if you really want to, we'll switch over to Thieves' Cant. I can take you to Black Blade.
Do I need to roll again? Does Taz know what that is?
You have only heard of Black Blade in whispers. You don't know its actual location, but it is supposedly an island of pirates and the home of the Teeth of the Deep. Series of threatening pirates on the coast.
Taz's eyes just go kind of wide with a little bit of excitement. That could be interesting.
But you know, it's if you reach out, or you know, if we just happen to run into each other on open waters.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll make that happen. This I'm intrigued by.
Sounds good.
Alright.
We'll hop down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need help getting down from the roof? That's usually a lot easier than getting up.
Taz is gonna sign. He's probably gonna stay up here for a little. He's specifically gonna sign. I'm gonna stay up here until the bar clears out a little bit.
All right.
Ooh, actually, can I break into my room? Break in. Is there a window? Like, if we're
Yeah.
Is it breaking in if it's my room?
I think if you don't want to go like to the bar, I will totally let you. I mean, Matthias had told you psychically like which room it was, so you could wide open a window. You could try and break your way in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. If I get into my room, okay. Do I need to roll something to break into my room?
Give me a stealth check. I think Taz is probably very capable of breaking into a place like this. It doesn't have a very high security, but I want to know if people hear you doing it.
Oh hell yeah. So 22.
22. Yeah, even if you subtracted d6, 22 is plenty enough that
Oh, that's with the d6.
Bro,
I'm rolling.
you slide that window open. You sort of, you know, you heist your way inside in a manner that is both elegant and it shows off your roguish talent, but it's more like a cutscene montage where we just like see flashes of Taz like sliding the window open and then ducking inside and then waiting for someone to pass by in the alley, etc., etc.
Once I'm in the room, I'll like think to Matthias. I'm here. Could you bring a plate of food when you get the chance?
Yes, he will do that. Bring some food.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is there anything you wanted to say to Matthias, Tazriel, or just grab some food?
That's it, I guess. Whenever Matthias brings it up, thank you, and then just silence.
Of course. And he seems eager to get out of that 30-foot range. Clip clop his way down the hallway.
Question for you. Do you think at this point that Tazriel has calmed himself down enough, regained control of himself enough to possibly try and recover from his fracturing?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, I definitely think after the initial shock of stuff and like trying to recenter himself in his room and then eating, he's probably just, okay, how do we fix this? How do we?
I believe it is an intelligence saving throw.
With the d6, correct?
No, you do not subtract a d6.
Like, this is gonna.
But this is an intelligence save, which means that you can use your Tower of Iron Will if you would like. So you can actually expend a die to add it.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that.
All right.
Okay. 18.
18. You're sitting and you're eating. Finally, in a quiet space where you can't really feel, can't feel your mind leaking out onto anyone. Your breathing calms. The scar on your face slowly fades away. The tendrils of your mind curl up and settle back to their usual positions. And you find you can speak again. All right. Foggy, you also can make your way back inside the tavern.
Is gonna look around for who's in the tavern.
Well,
I think
yeah.
Awaish is down there. Probably Kiara as well.
Mm-hmm.
They
is
are
it just the
sitting.
two of us?
Is Matthias down here with us?
Yeah.
He's in his room.
Would Barden have come back at this point?
I think, yeah. Maybe sat out on the dock for a little bit, then headed back in.
Yeah. I think they're all sitting together, I suppose.
We'll go over to the table and we'll just pop their little head up. Hello.
Oh, hi! Welcome back.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything. Wait, could I speak to you a little bit? Over there.
Is it going to be in the same way that we spoke last time?
No?
Stands up and walks with you.
Also, Barden is snickering under her hand at the, all right.
Yeah.
Just the eyes over the table.
And
All right,
and
lad.
while they were talking, Kiara was definitely wide-eyeing at Barden, like, what happened last time? But, just with the eyes.
We'll hop up and order a rum.
Yeah.
I don't. You remember how I thought I knew your name from somewhere?
From what I recall, you just saw it as interesting.
Well, I just thought about it a little bit more, and are you? Hold on. Wait 1 second.
The suspense.
I bet this bitch is impossible to pronounce. Give me that shit. I want to hear it.
I want to hear.
Are
Foggy
you?
do it.
Are you Oish? Sigmundish? Fuck. What's the
Good Monday.
Kumondish?
Did I not tell you that was my name?
I don't think you said the whole of it.
I customarily do. Why?
Are you really?
What kind of a question is that?
Well, it's because I think you're supposed to be dead, mate.
Just the barest furrowing of her brow for one moment. Am I now?
Well, it's a funny story, because, you know, when the ship that you were on, went down, people thought you and Kaiman both went the way of an anchor. You know, it just.
Oasia's going to lean down a little bit and say, "That's a very interesting story. I would like to hear more details, please." What do they say?
Well, they hold you in very high regard. That you are a very fierce and powerful crewmate. Was it what was their position according to like the stories that he had?
The legends that you've heard don't really. I think it was a storm mage or something like that. It's not quite specific because rumors and stories change when they're retold.
It's kind of funny because you know, when I had heard all these stories about Kaiman and Sigurd, and that it was interesting, and it made me want to learn more about storms and magic, and I don't know. It's
Alex, do I know this other name that Foggy is referencing?
Tell me how it's spelled, Andre.
I think I meant to say Sig.
Oh no, the first one.
Goish?
No, Timon. Oh.
It's, Cymon?
Oh. Oh.
Or is that
Simon.
Simon?
Yeah,
Simon.
it's Simon. Yeah, it is.
Simon, sorry.
It's Simon. No. It's all good. Yeah. Simon, how
Stories. What do these stories say? I'm so sorry if I'm asking you for details you don't have.
would you like me to tell you?
I'm a little foggy on the details.
A little foggy?
Uh,
Foggy.
Yeah.
Would you like me to recount for
Yeah.
you and for Owesh this story?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So the stories go. Back when the waterfalls teemed with cloud as much as the sky teemed with fish, there was a fearsome pirate. And this fearsome pirate, lightning crackled at their fingertips, and storm clouds billowed in their wake. And they sailed the seas with a strange knowledge. They always found their prey. They were always waiting when ships arrived at their destination. Even if the route hadn't been planned, even if they had been blown off their course by a strange storm, this mage was always waiting for them. A terror on the seas, who sailed on a ship that could plunge below the waters or take off up into the sky to escape. But the stories say this pirate was so greedy that they began to fill their ship with treasures and gold and pearls. And the storms that they conjured, as they grew and grew and grew, stronger and stronger, caught the eye of a storm god, the one who lies and sleeps below the waves, took notice of this pirate like a pesky fly and reached up one dark and stormy night when the mage lay in wait for the ultimate prize, the crowned ship, the Plutarch. This storm god reached up with a hand that unfurled into tendrils that wrapped around this magic ship and this mage, lightning at their fingers, and pulled them down into the hungry dark and held them there. And the coins floated up, and the pearls were scattered, and the treasures were buried along with this mage at the bottom of the ocean. But it is said they still haunt the coast like a ghost, sailing out on foggy nights, lying in wait for ships that pass by. Or so the story goes.
Owesh listens. Towards the end, their face hardens. And they lean in and say, Foggy, do I look dead to you?
No?
So what is your question?
Did you know that people thought you were dead? Well, I guess now you know, so it's kind of a redundant question. But just thought, if you're ever around that area, you should maybe be a little more close to the chest about that if you don't want to throw a flag up.
They seem a little lost for words for a moment. And you know more than you think and less than you think. That is
Oh. Just drinks the rum.
Thank you for the raid, Critical Misses.
Thank you for the raid. Hello and
Thanks.
welcome.
And we'll just take a
Uh,
swig of that rum.
Yeah, they do have one more question that they managed to get through their fucking thick skull of not wanting to give anything away to actually ask. Exactly how pervasive is this legend? How many people think I am dead?
Do you need me to answer that?
Is it fair to say it's a pretty common?
It is common among pirates. There's other information that I think I've given you that would tell you how many other people might think Oash is dead, but this legend is
Yeah.
mostly among pirates. But yes, pretty pervasive. Not always coming with a name. The fact that you've heard a name with it is maybe confined to a smaller group.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, if the legend is true, very strange that I am standing in front of you, hale and hearty. Exactly how many people can come back from the dead?
I'm not sure.
And they lay a hand on Foggy's shoulder. Squeeze softly. And say, step carefully. And then step back.
Augie, there's one more thing that
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's brought to mind. It was a long time ago. Well, you're young, so not that long ago, but you would have probably been a teenager, I would say. And I think it's one of the reasons that this person stood out to you as much as they did, which is that there was a paper, a newspaper, that was hung in a bar when you visited that bar on a contract that you were taking and working for. You spent a little bit of time in that bar, talking to your contact, the person who set you up on the mission that you were completing for them to steal something. And that newspaper, there was a notice in it, and this paper had been sort of set up and framed behind the bar, and there's a picture along with it, a sketch. This little newspaper note was an obituary for the name that you said, Uesh Sigmundbish Gudmundsbish. And the picture that you saw, that little sketch behind the bar, was a young elf, no tattoos, long hair, with sort of a sad but fond smile on their face. Looked maybe similar, but also different to the person that you've seen. Maybe even like a could be an elf as young as 20 or 30. And this was a sketch, a rendition that someone had done. But the obituary had said in it, the notice that went out with it, was that this person had been laid to rest on top of the cliffs, and that they had drowned. That's it.
Okay. Cool. I think Oish and Foggy do the awkward thing of like the sort of like mutual wordless goodbye, and then they walk in
As
the
the
same
threatening
direction.
line, yeah, and then they both walk in the same direction. Oish, yeah, sits back down at the table, and are you staying with us?
I was actually wanting to talk to Kiara, if that's not a problem.
Fantastic.
Ooh, yay! We all get turns. If you're back at the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay. Where are
before
we
we do that-
talking? Oh yeah.
One moment. I wanted to see if there was anything that was going to be said between Barden and Kiara while you guys have a moment, or anything that was going to maybe be said between Matthias if you come out. But if not, let me know, and we will.
I'm good.
Have
He's
that
in his room.
Okay.
There was only a brief moment, and then as soon as they left the table, Kiara was like, "Last time, what happened last time?"
I don't know what you mean. Last time?
Oish said that would this conversation be like last time, and I don't know if you were there for that, and I missed it.
Don't think so. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. It sounds juicy. I want to know.
I'll try and keep my ear out better for the next gossip.
Oh yes, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Just arm around her. Missed you today.
I missed you too, and I'm so sorry you got hurt. Everybody got hurt again while I was out, I don't know, gallivanting. I should no longer gallivant.
You should just stick by me. I think that's a good plan.
I like this plan.
Little kiss on my head.
And then we just drink and chat about nonsense.
Yeah.
Until they come back.
Then you can pull Kiara aside, Foggy.
Hello. Kiara,
Yes.
could I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, you can talk to me for much longer than a minute if you would like. Let's go.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Just over by the bar. That's just not too terribly far.
Okay.
We'll bring Kiara back to the same seat that they and Oish were just sitting in.
Yeah.
Set it a
Okay.
wall for you.
Ooh, yes, pretty warm seats.
Do you
Mixed
want?
bag.
Do you want a pico? I know you like them.
Yes. I'm
Okay. And then we'll clap, and then seemingly from from the rafters or somewhere up above them, hidden, just a pico pops out and then just lands on the table and then does a little penguin waddle towards Kiara.
Yes, Kiara definitely claps and bounces in their seat, and this is amazing. But that's not why you brought me here.
No. I wanted to. I'll try not to do this when I'm with people who are part of my crew, and I didn't realize that's what ended up happening. But I didn't sorry I'd stolen from you. I try to be a little bit better about that than with people I'm walking alongside.
Have you stolen since the first time?
Has to think about it.
Like, she's referring to the first time y'all met in the bar and you stole, and then she gave you the anklet you stole.
Mm-hmm.
Have you stolen from her since?
I don't think so.
Oh, I understand that you were doing what you were doing to survive, and I mean that's why I gave you the anklet once we became friends.
Oh wait, no, Alex just DM'd me a thing that's so fun. Wait. Hold on. I'm so
You
sorry.
want to give me a deception check, Foggy?
Yeah.
Give me a deception check.
Ooh. That's a 14.
1 second. If Kiara is like asking this question and specifically paying attention, you can give me an insight check as well, Pooja.
Yay! The cards do not want it. That was a 2 plus 3, so 5.
Excellent. So you
rolls quite like this.
you totally believe that Foggy's being honest with you.
Trust Foggy.
Yeah. But yeah, Foggy, I don't blame you for what you had to do to survive, but that's why, now we're friends, and I told you can just ask me for stuff, and I will share with you everything I can.
Well, that's awfully kind of you. I'm not exactly the type to just be begging. That was taken out of me pretty early.
No, it seems like you developed alternate skills, and you employ those to stay alive.
Sure. Alternate skills. But, yeah, I just wanted to, say, apologize for that. I don't like to rob people when they're... Because that's the whole thing with the crew, right? Is that you're all working together. There's no point in doing that if everybody's, up each other's asses about.
Yeah, we take care of each other. That's a crew, family, whatever you want. Friends.
Do you think of it as a family?
Well, I think so. For most of them, at least.
For your group?
Yeah. They're my people. They are... I mean, I don't want to blow anybody's secrets, but let's just say, they agreed to say, screw you to some very big powers to help protect me. And if that's not family, I don't know what is.
That's interesting.
Foggy? You seem perturbed by something. What is it?
It's nothing. Just I think the rum's getting to me a little bit. You can tell he's lying.
Can I? Let's see. Well, okay, that's a 22.
Yeah, you can tell he's
That
lying.
I mean, no pressure to tell me anything, but you know that if you need to, I'm always here to listen.
I'm not. Mm. With the people I work with, we're a little bit more hesitant to give out information.
I mean, I understand that. I kept myself hidden so long, but on the other hand, I will say it is very freeing to be yourself and to just share what you can with the people you care about.
Well. Alright, so. I just don't trust everyone in your group. That's all.
That's fair. I mean, I'm easily trusting, but I do believe other people believe trust needs to be earned, and I don't know if everyone has earned your trust yet.
I'm not saying, don't go working with these people. I mean, you already probably took the job, right?
Yes.
But I don't know. Sleep with one eye open and you might catch a few things in the night.
Ooh. Maybe ask Barden to do that. I'm a very heavy sleeper.
I'll look out. Don't worry.
Just not. You seem like a nice person, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. I try. And I also appreciate your concern. It's very well. And I genuinely do. Just one question. When you say sleep with one eye open, is it because you think someone is going to do something mischievous, or is it because you think someone is going to kill me in my sleep? Like, I'm just trying to gauge a level of concern.
It's just someone's not. Someone isn't quite themselves. I think.
Okay.
I can't say who, because, that's how legends die, right? Is when the truth gets revealed. So.
Well, I don't know what it is that's preventing you from telling the truth, but let me just say, I usually only meet rules that I want to break, so I would totally be supportive of you breaking rules. But if you don't want to do that, if I named names, could you nod?
No, that's just telling without words, and we do that a lot. And then we'll sign, and thieves can't if Kiara understands. Yeah.
Yeah, Kiara's a noble baby. But okay, I mean, I'm just saying, rules are pretty fun to break. But I'm not gonna pressure you. You do what you feel comfortable. And I appreciate your words of warning.
I just don't know. It's not. I don't mind breaking rules at all. That's how I ended up here. But just am not fully aware of what might come of me sharing, and I'm not keen on finding out.
Fair. You protect yourself, Foggy. And you protect Pico.
I'll try. If I die, they'll still be around.
Please don't die.
It's a possibility.
Well, I know, and it's an eventuality for most of us, but, you know, don't actively try to do it.
Sure. All right.
Anyway, it seems like you need another drink, and so do I.
Probably.
We can go back to the table.
Yeah. Well,
You return.
yeah.
All right. You return to your table, finish your drinks. The bar gets busier and busier as the snow picks up outside. You can finish your meals, retire to your bedrooms. Barton, where are you spending the night?
Unless they can see Soren around, I'd probably get a bed here.
Okay. Then yeah, you can get a room. I think that
I want the
Foggy-
horror room. Give me the horror room.
The horror room, the bed sheets are black.
Sorry,
But
but that's sexy.
Yes.
Sexy as hell, yes. There are knives on the ceiling.
There are
It's a
knives
room.
and candles. Yes, so you can each retire to your separate rooms, and you can long rest. Is anyone like staying up, keeping watch, doing anything like that? You are in a tavern, so you'll gain the benefits of a nicer long rest.
We can save the actual information that is gleaned from this for another scene if you'd like to move more quickly, Alex. But I would like to say that as we all retire to our rooms for the night, Oesh will close the door behind them, make sure it is locked, and take out a book. It's not theirs.
And you do some reading.
Yes.
But I will save that information for another scene.
Fantastic.
As you read through it. One more thing, sort of as you're getting ready for this long rest, Kiara, as you're like preparing and getting ready for bed, you reach into a pocket or your bag and you find an unopened letter that you haven't actually gotten the chance to read yet from Beloved.
Yes. And I think this is the first time Kiara has like kind of dressed down for the night. But I think Sarah wanted to say something.
I just wanted to say really quickly for the audience, because I did not communicate that correctly. Oesh stole Barden's book. Continue on.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Well, with that bomb dropped.
I'm so sorry.
Which book?
Barden's storybook?
The tome.
Oh.
Isn't it immensely huge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But back in this moment, Kiara settles down on the bed and eagerly but carefully opens the letter that she has. She's not technically in the waste, but she is on the road. It counts.
Yeah. All right. This letter, as you pull it out and you read it, you see wonderful handwriting, and it smells very faintly of chrysanthemums. I think it would be. Dear Kiara, I hope this is not too much of an imposition, but I did not get the chance to find an address for you before you left the other night. I had to ask around a little bit to find where your little group would be, a benefit to my work. But I really hope I'm not too late and you haven't left the city yet. I know you said your mission was very important, but yes, I wanted to see if you would still like to be pen pals, as we talked about at the inn. You seemed so sweet, and I had such a lovely time playing with you and your hair. Of course, no pressure, but I think it would be enjoyable for us both. We could tell each other about our days and our adventures, and I'd love to share more stories and to hear any of yours. It would be so wonderful. If you'd like to reply to me, please send letters to the care of the Sky Sea Inn, I'm not always there. I do travel a fair amount, but I hope to respond as soon as I can. If you do not wish to correspond, I very much understand. Your spellcaster seemed very insistent that I not talk with you, and I would not wish to get in the way of your friendship with them. Well, I do hope your sweetness and your kindness helps them express themselves in similar ways, my dear friend. Either way, I have included some flowers that made me think of you. They've lost a bit of their scent, but not their beauty. They are as lovely as our meeting, and as you, sweet Kiara, yours, beloved. P.S. Did you know that chrysanthemums mean best wishes and friendship? That's all I wished for us both. I just love flower languages. Each one tells its own story. Isn't that amazing?
As Kiara was reading this at the whole thing where the spellcaster made it seem not to contact, Kiara definitely like furrows her brow and mutters, "They're not my mother. They can't make that decision for me." Keep reading, and then when the note on the chrysanthemums comes up, they will like pour the little chrysanthemum leaves out of the envelope and put it in their money bag with the 5 gold that they have.
Lovely.
And then we'll look around the room to see if there's I don't know, pub stationery.
You could grab.
Is it
There's actually
themed
some.
for the room?
Oh yes,
Themed
I love it.
stationery.
What did you get? The romance? No, the comedy.
We got the comedy room.
Yes, the comedy room. The paper is sort of an off yellow color, and it has like wiggly lines where you can write on it. Yeah.
Perfect. And Kiara will start composing her response.
Okay. All right. Then with that, as we push into our long rest, everyone can gain the benefits of a long rest. Foggy, if you have some rolls you'd like to make, you can DM those to me. And please feel free. But you gain the benefits of a long rest, which means that you restore your hit points, you get back half your hit dice, and you regain expended spell slots, dice, rages, etc. Channel divinities.
Fucking.
And
And I'm good. I got it too. So
okay,
chillin'.
2. All right. I think then we'll know the result of those rolls. But I think that this is a good time for our last little 10-minute break, and then we'll see you guys back for another hour and a half. But this might be the point where we say goodbye to Andre and to Foggy. So thank you so much for joining us. It has been a delight to have you. And hopefully we will see Foggy again very soon. Make sure you go check out Andre Rivera art everywhere on the internet. He's so talented. So
Yeah. We love you, buddy.
All right,
love you.
Oh god,
you.
I forgot that I'm the person who has to make the. I have to make the thing go. Okay, everybody, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Welcome back. You've all gained the benefits of your long rest. If you have any daily rolls that you need to make, I already know Oasia's, but feel free to make those. But before we crest into the first day of the next month of Neth, there's something else that I need to mention. You all dream tonight. Interesting dreams. Kiara, when you sink down into sleep, you open your eyes to a warm sensation. As you look around, you find yourself in a circular room. There's not much furniture, just red curtains. Sort of a familiar feeling. This warmth, the smells in the air remind you of home. You're there for what feels like a few minutes, but they pass very quickly in that dreamlike logic. And then, parting through one of the curtains, you see a small cat. Familiar cat. Agnida.
Kiara rushes over. Hi! It's been so long since I've seen you.
It has been a while, hasn't it? The cat shifts up, straightens up, and you see at this time takes the form of a tabaxi woman. Tiger's Eye. I think maybe we need to talk.
Oh, are you upset I ran away?
Well, a little bit, actually. I mean, I know why you're running away, but it made sense. You're looking for things. You're looking for connections, passions. But I thought you would still be coming home.
I will eventually, but I'm not done growing yet.
No, I get that. And then the figure begins to shift a little bit taller, shoulders a little bit broader, neck a little longer, stretching out from that tabaxi form into a larger tiger, head pushing up against these red curtains, looking down at you with a childlike grin despite the size. There's plenty of room to grow.
I don't have my plans for certain now, but I think that once I go on this adventure and have a chance to prove myself worthwhile, I understand that there's people waiting for me at home, but after everything, well, other Tiger's Eye told me I'm not done figuring it out, I think. I'm not ready yet to find out about the truth of that thing.
I understand that. You're not done looking yet. But I'm getting a little, I don't know, impatient. And this tiger, as it keeps growing, takes one of these large, clumsy paws, and it kind of bats at you, almost in a very casual way. It doesn't seem like it's trying to threaten you. It seems childish, like it's kind of playing with you, and it's expecting you to play or push it back. Just kind of bats at you, like pushes you into the curtains.
Kiara definitely immediately goes back, back, but just as playfully.
Mhm.
What was all those lessons we were taught about being patient? I'll come back. You know I love you.
Well, I know you love me. I know you're supposed to love me, but I'm... And then it bats at you again. It says, I want to know that I'm the most important, and I don't feel like that right now.
I'm sorry about that, but after everything that happened with Petra and I felt like I was being shoehorned into a destiny I didn't choose, and maybe I'll choose it. I'm not saying I won't, but I would still like it to be my choice. So I might have pulled away a little bit, but isn't that what family does? We fight, but we come back to each other.
Yeah, fighting is passion, I guess. But you're picking up the grin is still playful, but there's definitely a frustration. Sort of like kneels down a little bit, and the room is stretching. The curtains are expanding. This creature is growing bigger and bigger, and there's less and less room for you. And it bats at you again, and it's less playful. It seems the energy is still there, but it's just a little bit harder, and you just kind of bump into one of the curtains and bounce off, and it doesn't hurt or anything, but you are suddenly aware that they are much, much bigger than you. In a way that's a little bit different than you've ever felt around Agnita before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Kiara will straighten herself up and just say, is there anything you want me to do that I could do to show you that I do love you? That would maybe calm you down? Yeah, what? Tell me.
Yes. You can stop playing games and find something to feed me with.
What do you mean?
Passion. I need your passion.
But I have so many passions.
Well, yes, but I need your fire, your spark. Bane needs your spark.
Oh, maybe going into a wasteland with not that many people wasn't a good idea then.
Maybe not. Just take some time and think about it, because, well, we're a team, and we help each other out. And
yes,
you're very powerful, my dear. So, give me something to fuel it. That's all.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, I'll try to do that.
All right. And this massive cat's face turns, and you almost have to duck out of the way. And it says, "Ow." Suddenly and strangely. Ow. And you see that the curtains, where they were stretching around this body, start to pull back and tighten.
What's happening? Are you okay?
I'm not sure. Just give me one moment, and the dream sort of flickers almost, and you see just a flash of white smoke and ash. And then the room constricts again, and you're being pushed by the curtain behind you into the fur of this cat. It's like, sort of blocked. Almost like a blockage in a vein or something. And then the cat begins to yowl, loud and scared and angry and frightened. And the feeling of the curtain on your back goes from warm, soft velvet to heat, pressure. And you sink into the floor of this room with that yowling in your ear, Kiara, and you find yourself standing in a river. A river not of water, but of thick, bloody, burning sludge.
Does this look or seem familiar or something she's heard about?
You can give me a wisdom check, just wisdom.
All right. Don't screw me. It screwed me. That's a 5 on that dice. You're a
5?
fire too.
I don't remember if you
5
have
plus
inspiration.
3. Oh, I do have an inspiration. All right, we're gonna inspiration and use digital roller.
Got it.
Okay. Let me mark off my inspiration and normal roll. Did that work? I don't know.
What was it?
Oh, it didn't. I'm just gonna do this on the dice.
Yeah, no
roll. Here we
worries.
go. Okay, so 16 plus 3, 19.
You haven't been here before, but the feeling is familiar, I would say. And it brings to mind visions that you had after you left home. A certain feeling. You are alone standing in this river, a smoking landscape surrounding you, red skies. But it still feels like it's almost like you were playing on a stage before. There were curtains around you, and someone just lifted the curtains. And you're not on the stage anymore. You are in a place that feels familiar, similar to the place you were before, but you're not looking through a lens anymore.
Is it scary for her?
It's kind of up to you, I think. It is, certainly I would call it a terrifying vision, but you don't feel like you're going to get burned.
Okay, I think that's the main concern.
Yeah.
In which case, Kiara is going to start walking into the river. Or further in, I guess she's already in it.
Yeah. You walk and you push past and you feel this hot, burning sludge against your legs, and you find a comfortable rhythm. And as you are walking and the waters are rising, feel a feeling not unlike the one you had in a dream maybe less than a week ago, of a warmth inside you. But this is not, it's not like you are on fire, Kiara. It's a shivering, trembling feeling as you walk. Your blood begins to boil. And you lick your lips. And you taste something sour and rich, like burnt cinnamon. And your tongue tastes bloody. And your body is almost trembling. And then your head sinks below this thick river. And you wake up the next morning.
Immediately licks her lips again.
The taste is gone, but you found there's a bit of blood in your mouth, almost like you bit your tongue when you were sleeping.
And then, just out of instinct, I think Kiara is just gonna like look at herself and around her to see if anything is different, or that really was just a dream.
Tazriel, when you sink down into sleep, first you plunge into darkness and then green. Twisting vines around you, similar to the vines of the plant monster that you had so narrowly escaped from, wrapping you like an embrace. You find yourself restrained in this dream. Some kind of copse or wood in a forest. You can see a clearing ahead of you, but you are tangled up in the branches and the brambles.
Can I try and like break out of this?
Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. No. That is a 5.
5. All right. You find you can't push out of these brambles and branches. As you do so, a familiar tight pressure in your mind. You are being constricted not just physically, but also mentally, and you're well aware enough of how your mind works and its powers that you can feel that mental constriction. As you look ahead of you in this copse, fog and mist surround you. It's warm here, and you see a figure stepping through the fog. And they step forward into the clearing, close to the edge of it where you are, and your eyes travel down as the figure points, and you see, lying curled up like they are sleeping, with a peaceful smile on their face, Vel. Hair slightly flaming, warm tinge to their cheeks. When you look up, the figure that you see pointing to Vel is also Vel. Warm smile, a familiar tenderness. And they reach down. They touch their shoulder very tenderly. And then their nails dig in. And they pull up and rip. Chunk of flesh from their shoulder. Put it to their lips and swallow. And when their eyes blink open this time, they're not the familiar eyes of the partner that you would see in the mornings when you woke up next to them. Their eyes are yellow, just like yours. Just like yours. And they reach down again. They keep eating. And when they've sated their fill, when their lips are red and bloody, still that peaceful sleeping smile, they reach out and they offer you a bite to eat as well.
I spit at them.
Spit. They pull their hand away. And you hear echo in your mind. Maybe you'll be hungry later. And the vines constrict tighter, choking you the same way that your throat had choked and closed up earlier, when you couldn't speak. And as your vision fades to black, you wake up. Matthias. When you are pulled down into sleep, your vision goes to white. Snow beating outside the window of untold stories. The wind, the fog, and the mist is almost a comfort, a familiarity. So when you open your eyes to the same wind blowing, same chill, it's hard to tell if you are still falling asleep or if you're awake. You are standing before a mountain. The wastes stretch out around you. Boulders of ice. Rolling hills that are so hard to distinguish from the flat landscape as they fade into the distance, different shades of white, almost imperceptible. You see this mountain that stretches before you is thick, craggly, composed almost entirely of dark ice, but dusted at the top, smoking. As you look down at your hand, they're black. You don't feel cold, though. The mountain calls to you somehow. You can step and walk toward it, listen to that pull, or turn away. What do you do?
Go towards it.
Stepping first slower as you adjust to the level of snow you have to push through, but then it gets easier. Your gait becomes faster, pulled, tugged relentlessly as you sprint towards this mountain. And you feel cracks spread out from your feet as you run. Cracks that open, fissures where dark smoke rises, black oil rising up through these cracks behind you. So you keep your eyes trained on that mountain. And you see, just as you begin to crest over one last hill towards the base, the ice shifts. You see stalactites and stalagmites pull open, and a gaping maw opens in this mountain, feral teeth dripping with water. And you are swallowed. You fade to dark. You're pulled awake. Awash. You spend time reading before you go to sleep, yes?
Yeah.
And then you trance?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it is as you are pouring through your memories, it is as you are calmly sitting on the bed, or lying down, however you prefer to trance.
They usually lie down, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That when you close your eyes for a moment, blinking as you usually do, instead of blinking to black, your eyes blink to sort of almost like a mist or a fog, similar to outside, a slightly lighter. When you open your eyes again, it's the same room. But then each time you blink, as you're trancing, you blink, and you start to see a vision behind your eyelids. To the point where if you keep your eyes closed, the vision starts to clarify.
They're so curious. They're the worst. They'll close their eyes fully.
You close your eyes fully as you're lying down, and it's snowing behind your eyes. Not snow like it snows in Skyhome, but snow like it snows when you are among the clouds, when you can reach out and touch and feel the ice forming and then trickle down through your fingertips, dropping to the ocean below. You are walking, pushing through these clouds. You can trail your hands. Snows where you've touched. The clouds are getting darker. The light color, that whiteness, that sense that you are the one directing the flow, the storm, fades away. And they go from that pale color to an ashen gray, and then a rich, stormy indigo, and then a deep purple. And you see, ahead of you through that purple, a light, single solitary light, flashing occasionally, calling you home.
I reach out a hand towards it and send out a bolt of lightning to try to harness it. Pull myself towards it.
Will you give me an Arcana check?
Mm-hmm. That is got a 13 on the die. Arcana is +7, so that's a dirty 20.
Play. You throw out that bolt of lightning, that lash, and it crackles out around you from your feet through the clouds, not just a single bolt towards that light, but surrounded suddenly by a lightning storm. But you are pulled then towards this light. The force of your own spell blowing your hair back. And as you pull closer to it, that light clarifies. About this big, floating amidst the clouds. It is warm and yellow, blinking occasionally.
As I approach it, I try to grasp my hands around it. Take it.
You can reach out. Your hands pass through it, but as they do, the color of the light shifts. It goes from warm to a cold blue color. And then you see it sort of turn almost. You can't really tell how it's turning because it's just a glowing light, but it turns and then the blue is darker on the other side. And the glow stops in this thin line around the circumference as it opens like an eye. And you see a thin pupil staring at you from within this glow. Blinks closed and the lightning stops. And the clouds are so dark that you can't see anymore. Even though you know your vision should be enough to at least give you shades of gray. And then you remember that you can't stand on clouds. You can't walk on clouds. And you start to fall. And then you can pull your eyes open. If you would like.
I would.
And you wake. Barden. And we're almost done. So bear with me for one more, if you can. Barden. When you close your eyes, you sink down into golden light. Find yourself floating and drifting. And then that golden light hardens around you, constricting you, restraining you at your wrists, at your ankles. You are bound or chained in some way by this golden light. And when you blink, your vision goes from gold to dark. Pure dark. And if you want to show people Sloan the scene in multiverse just before we end.
I think you can see Matthias, but pretend I'm not there.
No worries. Here we are. Barden, you find yourself at the Silver Sea. This is the forest outside of Nook, a place you visited plenty of times. Not exactly a forest because the trees are birch, and some of them not even really wood, but these strange growths that are sort of a combination of roots and fungi and salt that act like trees but can't really be used for lumber. Standing and looking out. It's snowing. Wind, fog, and mist. Your vision pans, and you see a figure in the darkness. Glowing eyes. You try to step forward, but your wrists are held up. Your ankles are still bound. Even though you can't see the golden light, you can feel it, holding you in place. And that figure ahead of you, it is large. Taller than you. Eyes. Burning golden light. And you can see that it's crying? Almost, but it's not crying tears. It's honey. Honey that is dripping from its eyes and from its mouth and down onto its chest. And when you try and reach or lower your hand or step forward, you can see a hand on this figure also come up, reaching towards you. This figure is made of darkness. It is almost feral in the way that its bottom limbs are sort of bent and crooked. And it has too many arms, too many hands. But it's familiar. Familiar to you. What are you doing?
Struggling. Don't want to be here. Don't want to look at it.
You try and turn your face away, pull your arms from these restraints. Will you give me a strength check?
Yeah, just a second. Oh, you know what's amazing? That's a nat 1. +5, but that's still...
Yeah. This time, as you struggle, you can feel the chains pull your hands together, pull your legs together, and you fall into the water that you know is here, even though you can't really feel it. All you can feel and focus on is the gold light that you know should be there, it isn't there. You can't see it, so why is it still tugging you, holding you back? And as you look up from your wrists, you see that you're being pulled towards this creature that's looking down at you. And the bottom half of its face is open. Open in a way a face should not be, with jaws that emerge, dripping honey. And its chest is open, with limbs through it. Its hulking, heaving breath and form. looks at you. Those eyes that are like something out of every scary story you've ever read as a child. And now you can tell that even though you can't see the light, it's coming from this creature, from this shadow that stands before you. And you are being slowly tugged and ratcheted, bit by bit.
She tries to stretch, she tries to move, she tries anything to get out. And she screams.
Scream echoes out through this forest, and your scream turns from a scream of fear into a howling yowl of joy as the creature echoes, harmonizes with it, like you did with your father. But you manage to shake yourself awake before you reach the creature. And Barden, you wake up. You're not in your bed.
Where am I?
You've wandered. It's up to you where. Maybe home, maybe to Soren's house. But you're not in the tavern. You've been sleepwalking.
I think she realizes that she's at the threshold of the Silver Sea again. And she chokes and tries to be sick because she still tastes that honey. And she stumbles back and can't breathe.
That is where our sessions ends for today. Didn't quite get to everything, but we wanted to get those scenes in, so thank you for bearing with us for that last half an hour. Whew, that was very intense. Hope everyone is doing okay who is watching. We're gonna go talk about it, because I know that was a lot. So I hope everyone is doing all right. Make sure you get some water, take some time. Thank you so much for joining us and watching Strange Hungers. Thank you again to One More Multiverse for this beautiful, beautiful little map that we have going on here, and Soundtail for our music. And I think that's where we'll leave it.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Great. Woo!
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.